Welcome to Vidya's kitchen. Today we are going to be making sambar powder. Traditionally, the ingredients are all sun-dried and then they're milled in a mill like this. But today we are going to be making this at home. The entire description is in the box below.
So I'm warming this kadai on very low heat. So it's on 3 and I'm warming the kadai. So what we're going to do is we're going to add all the ingredients for the sambar powder one by one onto the kadai and gently warm it. I'm going to use this cup to measure all the ingredients for the sambar powder. So it's cup measure. This cup measures about 125 grams. So it will hold 125 grams of any ingredient, but it's cup measure. So we'll start taking the ingredients one by one. I'm taking 2 cups of dhania. So cup 1.
Cup 2.
Next I'm going to take 2 cups of dried red chillies. So cup 1 and cup 2. Next we'll do the half cup measures. So half a cup of chana dal and half a cup of tuar dal. Next, quarter cup measures. So quarter cup of methi seeds.
Then quarter cup of black peppercorns.
Then raw rice, quarter cup. A generous amount of compounded asafoetida. Finally, I am taking a handful of curry leaves. So, those are the ingredients that we are going to warm in this kadai. We don't want any change in color or texture. I just want it to be warm enough to touch. Normally, I would have sun-dried these ingredients and then milled them like I mentioned. But because of the pandemic, I haven't been able to visit the mill or sun dry this because where I live it's not very sunny at the moment and I'm running out of sambar powder. So this is our recipe to make it at home. It's a very easy recipe. So the ingredients are, we'll just recap it once more. I took 2 cups of coriander seeds, then 2 cups of dried red chillies, half a cup of chana dal, half a cup of tuar dal, quarter cup of black peppercorns, quarter cup of raw rice, a quarter cup of methi seeds, a handful of curry leaves and a generous amount of asafoetida. If you don't have red chilies, dried red chilies, then you can use red chili powder. So if you take 2 cups of coriander seeds, then take 1 cup of red chili powder. And then also if you don't have curry leaves or compounded asafoetida, no worries. You can forego these ingredients. Instead of compounded asafoetida, you can add powdered asafoetida. So I'm just going to gently dry these ingredients, warm them up for a little while, maybe 5 to 7 minutes. If we can warm it in this kadai, that will be sufficient. And just before grinding, I'll be adding half a cup of turmeric powder. We don't need to warm the turmeric powder, so that can be added just before grinding. It's approximately 5 minutes now since the ingredients have been warming on the kadai. I can still touch them. They haven't changed in color or flavor or texture. This is just to warm them up and give the sun drying effect before grinding them. So now I'm going to transfer all the sambar powder ingredients for grinding into my mixie jar. So I'm going to use the Vitamix for grinding the sambar powder, and ensure whatever mixie jar you're using, please ensure that it is dry. Unless it's dry, it's not a good idea to grind sambar powder. Now we are going to keep the powder for a little while. So in order to store it as a long stay item,
It's important that we maintain dryness during the procedure. Now I'll transfer all the ingredients to the mixie jar. I'll also add half a cup of turmeric powder. Now we'll grind everything together to make a smooth powder, and I'll show you the end product. So the powder is ground now and ready. It smells glorious. It's almost like we've been to the mill. So now I've spread the ground sambar powder onto a newspaper. This is just to cool it down a little bit. This is because if I store it into a container straight away as soon as it comes out of the grinder, it will sweat in the container, and the chances of the powder forming fungus on it because of the moisture is there. I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to let this cool down for a little bit before I store it away. So sambar powder is ready. I used a Vitamix to grind this, so that's a powerful blender. If you use a normal wattage mixie to make the sambar powder, then you may have to grind it a couple of times, sieve it and then grind it again a few times until you get this texture. But there you go, homemade sambar powder is ready. Thank you for watching. Enjoy.